This review is on the Panasonic BTT195. It's a 3D full HD Blu-ray player with a built-in home theater system. So you not only get the Blu-ray player, but you also get a set of 5.1 speakers, as you can see here, and the Blu-ray player. So we're going to go over some of the features of it and see if this is maybe the right setup for your home theater system. In terms of some of the features, again, this Panasonic is 3D full HD Blu-ray player. It also will upgrade standard DVDs to 1080i. You've got a memory card reader for SD, and you can actually plug in your iPod directly too. The Panasonic also has some very good apps for Netflix, Hulu, Hulu Plus, Amazon, and even Major League Baseball. So there's a lot of good apps. So the functionality of the Blu-ray player is actually pretty good. In terms of overall sound performance, this is where it's, again, you're getting a, you can look from the sides and you can see that there's not a huge amplifier in here. So you're not going to get a big booming sound. So that's kind of the first thing that you should recognize, is the sound's not going to be booming. The second is the overall speakers themselves. So we'll look at that next. Okay, speakers. This is your center channel right here. 2 drivers, which is probably adequate. Pretty light speaker. Next, you've got the tower speaker. And excuse the mess here, but actually it looks a lot more impressive than what it is. There's 3 drivers, and this right here down is just a base unit. You've got one side-firing subwoofer, and then these are your satellite speakers, which are also relatively small. Now, again, this is not going to be a booming system even with a subwoofer in here, because if you can look, I can pick it up with one hand. My typical sub, I use my Velodyne 12. You're not going to pick that baby up with one hand. However, this Velodyne sub actually weighs more than the entire Panasonic unit, so with all 5 speakers. So if you're looking for a fuller sound, for 5.1 for Dolby Digital, this does the trick. However, if you're looking to really kind of rock the house and get the full effect of a theater surround sound system, this isn't going to do it. A few things about the Panasonic BTT195 Blu-ray player. Again, you have your SD video card in, your iPod card in, or connection in, so that you can control other devices other than just your Blu-ray player. You've got a screen here that'll help you coordinate through some of that and navigate it. You can go up and then you do your network connections. And the nice thing here is there's quite a few native apps within the as you can see right here. You can use your Hulu Plus, Netflix, Amazon, all that you would expect. And then again, you can circle through it. You got Major League Baseball, which oddly enough isn't working right now, but more and more different applications. So from that standpoint, it does give you a little bit of features that you wouldn't have in maybe some more of the older Blu-ray models. Back to this screen, and this is important depending on how you want to use your Blu-ray player. If you're going to use your optical input, you've got to choose it here. You've got ARC, which is audio return cable off your HDMI, auxiliary, which is standard RCA, and then optical in, which is going to be your fiber optic cable. So you have to select which one you want to use. Going back, there's another audio selection here, and it does get confusing, and you may have to play with it a little bit. So you go into another menu, audio, and then you have your capability for audio return, so this will give you the ability to do if you want to run this almost as you want to use the audio on your TV instead of just on through the home theater. You do have that capability here, so keep that in mind, and you might have to do some playing with these menus. Another thing to keep in mind too is that if you have some sort of simple link or something in your TV, that's how you're going to connect this so you get your sound to play through your speakers externally. That way when you shuffle through your inputs on your TV will know what audio output to use. So again, it will take a little practice, and it might be something that you have to call Panasonic support for, but it is something that you'll have to take notice of. Okay, here's the back panel again, so you can notice it's pretty thin, so you're not looking at big tube amps in here that's going to rock the house. Optical input, HDMI, LAN cable. I really don't understand it. It makes it easier to to plug in the speaker wires, since they all have the special plug at the back of them. They plug in, the color coordinated, so it shows you exactly which speaker's what. The problem is that now that you've got plugs, it makes it a lot less robust. So if you have different speakers that you want to use, you're going to have to use these plugs and kind of integrate a way in. So they've got plugs, and the subwoofer itself is actively driven off of the unit. So it doesn't even plug it; it's actually hardwired directly in. So if you want to use a separate subwoofer, you're going to have something where you're going to need something where you can cut the wire and plug it back into the unit using these plugs. Okay, one of the other features about the BTT195 is that you don't absolutely have to use the speakers and the amplifier. If you choose, you can actually just go ahead and use the native speakers on your TV. Now, why is this a big deal? It means that you can actually bypass the internal amplifier in the DVD player itself, or on the home theater system itself, and go right through the TV. So if you choose not to use it as a home theater system, say you get a upgraded system or whatnot, and you want to use something different, you can just essentially use it as a 3D Blu-ray player. So it does have that capability. Okay, final verdict on the Panasonic BTT195 Blu-ray player home theater system. I'm going to give it 4 stars. And I give it 4 stars based on a curve. It does not have a lot of power output, so therefore you're not going to get a lot of real heavy sounds out of it. It's too thin, so it's all solid-state electronics. In terms of a Blu-ray player with capabilities and lots of apps, Panasonic actually makes a very nice unit. In terms of a home theater system, I would call it, especially with the speakers that come with it, barely passable. Now what I've done is I've taken it and I've actually modified the speakers wires to run them right into my home audio system. So I'm using a much larger amplifier, or a much larger subwoofer. I'm using 8 ohm instead of 3 ohm tower speakers, and then I'm actually using the smaller little bookshelf speakers that are up there. They sound pretty good and are worthwhile, but the speakers that come with it again are barely passable, and the unit itself is underpowered, so you do have problems pushing these bigger speakers. However, again, if you're looking for a relatively easy setup, this has it. Lots of nice applications. It's easy to plug in the speaker wires, although they are a bit of a pain since you do have to modify them in order to use other speakers with it. It really is a nice all-in-one unit at kind of a low entry point. I would like for it to have more volume, more audio controls, but that's just kind of where I'm at. So overall, 4 stars. If you're looking for something with a theater type sound, real heavy sounds, this might not be it, but for a nice entry level, or even maybe a little bit above, it's a pretty good choice.